Is a DevOps engineer is reviewing a system that uses Amazon EC2 instances in an auto-scaling group. This system uses a configuration management tool that runs locally on each EC2 instance. Because of the volatility of the application load, new instances must be fully functional within 3 minutes of entering a running state. Current setup tasks include installing the configuration management agent 2 minutes, installing the application framework 15 minutes. Copying configuration data from Amazon S3 2 minutes. Running the configuration management agent to configure instances 1 minute. Deploying the application code from Amazon S3 2 minutes. How should the engineer set up the system so it meets the launch time requirement? Trigger an AWS Lambda function from an Amazon CloudWatch events rule when a new EC2 instance launches. Have the function install the configuration management agent and the application framework, pull configuration data from Amazon S3, run the agent to configure the instance, and deploy the application from S3. Write a bootstrap script to install the configuration management agent, install the application framework, pull configuration data from Amazon S3, run the agent to configure the instance, and deploy the application from S3. Build a custom AMI that includes the configuration management agent and application framework. Write a bootstrap script to pull configuration data from Amazon S3, run the agent to configure the instance, and deploy the application from S3. Build a custom AMI that includes the configuration management agent, application framework, and configuration data. Write a bootstrap script to run the agent to configure the instance and deploy the application from Amazon S3. Correct answer is B. Next question is: the resources for a business-critical, 3-tier web application are expressed in a series of AWS CloudFormation templates. The application is using Amazon RDS for data and Amazon Elastic for session state. Users have reported degraded performance in the application. A DevOps engineer notices that the T2 instance type is being used for the application tier and CPU usage is at 100% in Amazon CloudWatch. What process should the engineer follow to restore operations with the least amount of disruption to the end users? Write a new CloudFormation template to include Amazon CloudFront in the environment, launch the stack, and update the Amazon Route 53A record. Launch a new CloudFormation stack for the application tier using the M4 instance type, run acceptance tests against the new stack, and update the Amazon Route 53A record. Update the CloudFormation stack for the application tier using the T2 Unlimited option, run acceptance tests against the new stack, and update the Amazon Route 53A record. Launch a new CloudFormation stack for all tiers of the application in a different region, run acceptance tests against the new stack, and update the Amazon Route 53A record. Correct answer is B. Next question is: a company has developed an AWS Lambda function that handles orders received through an API. The company is using AWS Code Deploy to deploy the Lambda function as the final stage of a CI/CD pipeline. A DevOps engineer has noticed there are intermittent failures of the ordering API for a few seconds after deployment. After some investigation, the DevOps engineer believes the failures are due to database changes not having fully propagated before the Lambda function begins executing. How should the DevOps engineer overcome this? Add a before allow traffic hook to the AppSpec file that tests and waits for any necessary database changes before traffic can flow to the new version of the Lambda function. B. Add an after allow traffic hook to the AppSpec file that forces traffic to wait for any pending database changes before allowing the new version of the Lambda function to respond. C. Add a before install hook to the AppSpec file that tests and waits for any necessary database changes before deploying the new version of the Lambda function. D. Add a validate service hook to the AppSpec file that inspects incoming traffic and rejects the payload if dependent services, such as the database, are not yet ready. Correct answer is A.